What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and I got a interesting episode from Mike Maloney
I ran.
that I want to show you guys. Now, this comes on the cusp of a stock market that's currently dipping. Now, whether there's another leg up or we're gonna keep dipping, we're gonna have to see. But there's some eerie similarities between the 1929 crash and what's happening currently. So, we're gonna have to see what's gonna happen. Because all of this that's occurring is really interesting. On this channel, I have talked about how in Congress, they are talking about banning Congress members from owning stock. The moment that they put that into law or make that effective, run for the hills because what's coming next is going to be very drastic. We saw that the Federal Reserve presidents, right? They sold their stock because it was unethical for them to hold. And that was just as the S&P 500 hit its 4.236 extension on the Fibonacci. So the next indicator is going to be when this Dow Jones goes ahead and hits that 4.236 on the Fibonacci level. And I will be here alerting you guys. Hey, watch out. I think this is the beginning of a huge stock market correction. Could be a multi-year thing. So watch this video by Mike Maloney to just get a sense of what I'm talking about.
Ran across this paragraph and just had to take it as a quote. Almost everyone believed the speculation could now be resumed in earnest. So we're talking about that temporary bottom that came right after the crash and that newspaper article that you were talking about. A common feature of all of these earlier troubles was that having happened, they were over. The worst was reasonably recognized as such. The singular feature of the great crash of 1929 was that the worst continued to worsen. What looked one day like the end proved on the next day to have only been the beginning. Nothing could have been more ingeniously designed to maximize the suffering and also to ensure that as few as possible escaped the common misfortune. The man with the smart money who was safely outside of the market when the first crash came naturally went back in to pick up bargains. The bargains then suffered a ruinous fall. John Kenneth Galbraith, The Great Crash. And so that's in the video. But the final chart that I want to show you here, after the Dow bottomed at 41.22 points, all of these charts that I showed you started in 1928. Stock charts, where I generated these charts, only has data going back to the year 1900. And there is no low lower than this 1932 low. It wiped out more than 30 years of gains. And, so I can't go back into the 1890s or the 1880s to find the gains that this completely wiped out, but it wiped out all the gains of the 20th century to date at the time.
Okay, so you heard that. And I think that what's coming is going to wipe out all the gains that you've probably seen from the 21st century. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see this play out. And that's why I keep harping on the fact that we're getting to the end game here and you need to be prepared. And I'm not going to stop because we need to let as many people know about what's happening. So, without further ado, like and subscribe to the channel. If you like this content, share it with someone. Help spread this information. And I think that we got to do our part, right? So, it's the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.